All right, guys. So it's the first episode of Fighting Words, and we're going to talk about the person who might be the biggest name in fighting right now. I know it's crazy to say, but this man is making a lot of noise. And as you can see above me, that's Jake Paul. We're going to talk about who is Jake Paul going to fight next. He's obviously fought two YouTubers. He's fought Nate Robinson, and he fought Ben Askren, as you can see above me. Um, So what's next for him? Let's go for the obvious one that we've kind of been looking at for a while now, KSI. Do I think he's gonna ever end up fighting KSI? No. KSI is just not at the same level as him. I don't think KSI has been training as hard as him. I don't think he has the quality of coaches. And I don't think he loves the sport as much as Jake Paul does. It seems like Jake Paul is getting addicted. Like he didn't stick to YouTube boxing. Instead, he brought in, he just wanted to box. He fought Nate Robinson. And that was kind of an under the radar fight until it actually happened. And we saw that huge knockout that went down. So no, KSI, I don't think that's going to happen. Next, we have some real fighters. We see Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champ's half brother. Tommy Fury is 5-0 as a professional boxer, but the records of the people that he has faced are like 10 and 100. So he's not that high quality of a professional boxer. And obviously Jake Paul is neither because he hasn't fought any real competition. So does that fight happen? I think there's a good chance that fight happens. But here's why it might not happen. First of all, Tommy Fury is probably better than Jake Paul. So, and I don't think it's smart for Jake Paul to take a fight that he might lose. Because as soon as he loses a fight, people are going to probably stop tuning into his other fights, After he loses, people are going to be satisfied. They're probably going to be done. So that fight might not happen for that reason. Now, is he going to fight a UFC guy? That's the next thing. The name that I see being thrown around, Daniel Cormier, that isn't going to happen. Daniel Cormier said yesterday that he'll fight Jake Paul, but only in MMA. And obviously that isn't going to happen. I mean, the UFC heavyweight champ fighting Jake Paul, like, come on. So he's not fighting Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier is also, I think he's scared to box Jake Paul just because, Daniel Cormier would probably win, but just the tiny chance that Daniel Cormier loses, and that would just be very embarrassing for him. So the other one is Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley, I think he either has one more fight on his UFC contract or it's already up. And Dana White has said he's not going to let his guys fight Jake Paul. So Tyron Woodley is an option. He does not beat Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley is not Ben Askren. Yes, he has a wrestling background, but he has knockouts with his hands standing up. Ben Askren does not have a knockout standing up. It's as simple as that. Tyron Woodley beats him. We saw what he did to Robbie Lawler with that quick, right hand. And that he's not beating Tyron Woodley, and for that reason, he probably isn't going to fight Tyron Woodley. Now, lastly, Connor McGregor, the big name. Is he going to fight Connor McGregor? I think that fight is closer than many expect. Obviously, McGregor's got the third fight with Daniel Poirier. If he wins that fight, then he's obviously still in the UFC conversation. Then he probably fights for a belt against the winner of Chandler versus Oliveira. But more likely scenario is that McGregor loses that fight. After McGregor loses that fight, that puts him like at least 3 wins away from being the lightweight champion of the world once again. And I don't think McGregor is going to want to do that. We just saw today that he sold a majority stake in his whiskey brand, Proper 12, for $600 million. He's not, I don't think he's that hungry to fight in the UFC and become a champion, especially if it's not coming soon. So if he loses to Poirier, what's his next fight? He's a showman, okay? Conor McGregor is a showman. He's an entertainer. Jake Paul is an entertainer. He's a showman. Jake Paul wants to fight Conor McGregor. See, the pieces are being put together, and that fight is on the horizons as long as Conor McGregor loses to Dustin Poirier. And it wouldn't even be so much for the money. As I just said, He has all that money from selling Proper 12. And, I mean, he might just want to put on a show. Also, one more guy I haven't talked about, Dillon Danis. Jake Paul beats Dillon Danis. Dillon Danis is a wrestler, and he's fought some scrubs in Bellator. He's going to be just like Ben Askren. If we see Dillon Danis having a match with Jake Paul, people are going to be like, oh, Dillon Danis, real fighter. That's what they said about Ben Askren. Same kind of fight, same knockout, round 1. So those were my fighting words, and peace. See you guys soon.